Crime, security, wildlife. Policing the waters of Florida with law enforcement, wildlife protection squads, and guns for hire. 4 guys bidding to make it as marine security agents.
You hear that at night? Makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Sit back and hold tight because today we're on board with the Miami Water Cops. Florida, the Sunshine State. Boasting miles and miles of white sand and turquoise sea. And the jewel in the crown, Miami, an increasingly hip and happening hotspot. But beyond the sun, sea and sand, there's a more dangerous world. Miami is amongst the most dangerous cities in America, and surrounded by water, marine crime is rife. Fatal boating accidents, boat theft, fire and smuggling are just some of the day-to-day events on the waters around Miami. To combat crime on these dangerous waters, special police marine units operate. In Miami Water Cops, we follow 4 law enforcement agencies as they patrol the ocean beat, from the Millionaire's Playground at Fort Lauderdale to the empty wilderness of the Everglades. We get into cruise control with the downtown Miami boat cops as they operate on the front line of marine crime. They are Officers Lily Bethencourt, Cesar Carbana, Oscar Gonzalez, and John Cunhill. On their beat, the Miami River, the #1 cocaine route into the country. They're at the scene of a massive drugs bust and seize 400 kilos of cocaine.
We work hand in hand with the U.S. Customs on the river since we're on the river all the time.
We were in an undercover car. We stayed close to the area where the tip was saying that this truck was going to come out of. And immediately when we had information that the people were coming out of this area, we responded and secured the area, and other unmarked units came and took down the truck.
We followed it and conducted the stop here in downtown Miami and found 20 boxes, each with an estimated 18 to 20 kilos of cocaine apiece inside of them. So we're talking roughly about 400 kilos of cocaine. We estimate upwards of $5 million street value, and that's probably on the low side for 400 kilos of cocaine.
Last year we found 7,300 pounds of cocaine on the Miami River. It is the #1 source of cocaine seizures in the country right now.
On the water, they chase down speeding powerboats and face the usual dangers of dealing with drunk drivers.
Who's the captain of the boat? It's me. All right, let me see your registration ID.
They're trained scuba divers too.
We got it hooked through both railings. We need to get a game plan together because this is...
And underwater they brave contamination as they dive for evidence and recover stolen property. Miami is America's car crime capital. The river is a favourite dumping ground for stolen vehicles, like this Ford Mustang. Helicopter rescue training with the US Coast Guard. Petty Officers Scott Matos and John Tracy speed to the site of a simulated rescue operation. The helicopter has dropped a frogman down to a casualty in the water.
Usually the helicopter will lower them down into the water. They'll get on scene with an emergency situation. They'll assess the situation, they're in constant communication with the pilot of the helicopter, and they can tell the pilot what's going on down there on the surface, so the pilot knows what to expect. And that basket is what we would normally use to put any victims in that needed to be medevaced to a hospital.
The Coast Guard jurisdiction covers all America's coastal waters. They're a branch of the military, and they're at the sharp end of maritime law enforcement. But they're also called on to handle emergencies. This one, a serious boat fire out at sea.
We got in kind of close a couple times and had to back down because there was a lot of heat from that.
First real order of business is to make sure that people are off the boat and everybody's at a safe distance away from the boat fire. Due to the fact that with the burning fiberglass can put on toxic fumes, and also the fuel on board can cause an explosion.
We'll be joining the Special Ops Maritime Security Course. 4 guys on an elite training program to become top-level security agents. They'll operate on the edge of the law, defending boats and their crew and cargo.
Let's go.
They'll be pushed to the limit as they undergo a sophisticated training program. They'll learn how to find a decoy bomb underwater.
Don't leave home without it.
Night ops, how they can make use of high-tech military equipment in a nighttime surveillance operation on a possible stolen boat.
You hear that at night? It makes your hair stand up in the back of your neck.
And how to handle armed attackers. The course is run by Dave Kellerman. He's a US Army Special Forces veteran, and he's a weapons expert trained in non-conventional warfare.
Projectile. And then if that doesn't work, you got a pretty good sized club to beat the guy with.
He'll teach these guys how to handle an intruder.
I want you to believe that there's someone on board, so you're going to enter the boat from this door here and clear the boat of a single intruder.
Freeze! Freeze! Turn around and face the bow of the boat now! Drop to your knees!
Hey, what are you doing, man?
What?
What are you doing in my boat?
In real life, mistakes like this could be fatal. And finally, being ready to defend the boat when it comes under fire. It's intensive training, action-packed and exciting. The Florida Marine Patrol, the biggest water cop agency in Florida. Men like John Cunhill police every type of water here, from coastline to lake, the incredible wilderness of the Florida Everglades, and the swamplands of Big Cypress. To patrol these extreme terrains, they use state-of-the-art custom-built airboats, travelling at up to 50 miles an hour on both water and land. Powered by aeroplane engines and steered by rudders in the propeller stream, they ride on a cushion of air, and they're the only way to police the unique landscapes of the Everglades. And where the airboats can't go, the swamp buggy can. A hybrid of Jeep parts coupled with aeroplane tyres, they can easily cope with up to 6 feet of water. A whole range of boats help them police the waterways. But their job is to protect the wildlife too. These include the rare and endangered manatee and the Florida alligators.
That's a good sized gator right there. They do get a little bit bigger. But I've seen one 12 foot, 13 foot, and they'll get up even bigger than that.
Also riding the crime wave, the Broward County Sheriff's Marine Patrol. They police the millionaire's paradise of Fort Lauderdale. There are more boats per capita here than anywhere else in the world. One of the biggest dangers in these congested waters is speeding boats. It's the job of Deputy Larry Whitney to bring them in.
You're coming back to the boat ramp with me, and you call somebody to have them bring me the paperwork that says you own that, because I don't know if that's yours or not. Okay. And if that's stolen, you're going to jail.
Speeding boats are the biggest cause of accidents around here, and in Miami Water Cops, we'll return to the scene of Florida's worst ever speedboat accident. And we'll see how underwater detectives piece together the sequence of events that left 6 people dead. After the break, the Special Ops trainees are in at the deep end, and the City of Miami Water Cops get tough. The Special Ops Training Facility.
It's going to be a little different today the way
4 guys have made it to this intensive course. Survival is the key. But are they good enough to make the grade?
Details of the stress test when we're ready to conduct it.
Trenton Mello already works in private security. He's looking for the tactical edge this course can give him. Don Edwards, a major in the US Special Forces, but does he have what it takes to survive in the civilian world? Casey Morgan, another highly trained member of the elite Special Forces. He's seen plenty of combat action, but there's always more to learn. And Luso Filo, he's different from the rest. He wants to be able to take care of his family on the round-the-world boat trip. But with no previous experience, will he survive the tough training regime?
But if your hands and feet are tied, you can swim.
All 4 will be pushed to the limits. They'll face tests of endurance, fear, and stress. Only the strongest will get through.
What happened?
I couldn't keep I was keeping going sideways.
Okay.
I was having difficulty keeping my head.
Did you hurt your hand when you ripped out of those cuffs?
No, at all.
All right.
Day 2 of the Special Ops course. On board this boat, 4 guys are in intensive training. Today, it's underwater sabotage. Course leader Dave Kellerman talks them through the dangers.
Scenario. You can also have someone go in the water and damage your running gear in a manner that if you get underway, the propeller nut will continue to loosen and loosen until it comes off completely, and then if the boat has to go into reverse, the propeller itself will come off, causing loss of mobility. What are you going to do if you find a device that looks out of the ordinary?
First thing I do is evacuate the boat.
You should be doing this when the boat's not occupied, because if you do disturb it, then not only are you getting killed, everyone else on board is getting killed. The old rule of thumb is never dive alone. Well, guys, I got news for you. You get out there in the real world, you're going to be diving alone a lot for this kind of stuff. But someone topside should know you're down below. And the visibility in the water today is probably about 3 feet. So you're going to see this in almost the worst condition that you'll experience, since most of you guys work in the southern Florida area. All right, you guys
Their task will be to locate a decoy explosive Dave has planted on the hull. Not simple in any conditions, but for Trenton, who's never scuba dived before, it could be a real ordeal. This is going to be a cold and dangerous dive. First into the water will be Don and Casey. No problems for them, as they're both experienced divers. They're confident, and they have a plan.
rudder split off on both sides, checking both sides of the shaft, start peel out. Okay. All the way down to the bow, flip around, come back. Okay. I'm taking the inside, he's taking the outside. Got it. All right. Whenever you guys are ready, so. Polly.
Visibility is low, just 2 or 3 feet, and even in a wetsuit it's freezing. The water is just 11 degrees centigrade. They'll need to find the bomb before the cold gets to them. The plan works, and even in visibility down to near zero, they're able to feel their way to the device.
We're at about inside the port, starboard side. Doesn't appear to be fixed to the hull. Get out of water. Well, I felt something else. I felt that I need new batteries in my light.
It's Trenton's turn next. He's never done this before, and he's scared. Unlike Don and Casey, he has no plan.
Turn to bow, real quick.
He's far too nervous about his first scuba dive.
I'll be in for about 3 minutes, and that's it. Okay?
Completely submerged, with only a tank on his back for air supply, he's no idea what he's in for. The fear is clearly visible on his face. But he knows he's got to tough this one out.
Follow me out here.
It's a different world underwater, cold, dark and mysterious. Slowly, Trenton overcomes his fear and panic. And eventually he locates the bomb. Trenton has come through his toughest test so far.
Good job, bro. You saw what I was talking about, the propeller nut, right? That counterfeit? You need to spend about 15 or 20 minutes in that water to do it right. And with the visibility we had here, you guys did it as fast as humanly possible. You did find the simulated explosive device. I think you did a good job. Now, Trenton, have you ever done anything like that before?
No, that was my first time with the tank on my back.
You had to overcome the cold water, the pressure of performing an exercise, and you did find the device. That was pretty damn good.
As well as confronting the dangers of Miami's waterways, the cops get to protect the manatee, a rare sea mammal native to Florida. They're dying out fast. Over a quarter of them will die after being hit by boats. The cops know how to find these reclusive creatures.
The nice thing about it is you see them out here, swimming, and it just makes you want to come out and really enforce these laws that protect them.
A perfect moment, but now it's back to the thick of it. On the lookout for lawbreakers. And up ahead, there's a speeder. Caesar and Lily set off to chase him down.
Yeah, he's getting a ticket no matter what. Go around the corner of the island. To see your registration.
Well, we just bought the boat yesterday, so we have the bill of sale.
That'll be fine. Bill of sale and your ID, please.
Diving finished for the day, it's downtime for the Special Ops trainees. Trenton works out. Don's fishing. But Instructor Dave is never completely off duty. He takes off in a small Zodiac to look about. And this time it pays off.
As we were on just a routine little boat ride, we ran across a 48-foot sport fisherman that looks fairly suspicious. It fits the profile of a stolen boat. has an old name that's clearly visible. When I say clearly visible, you can't read it like it's still there, but they removed it and they didn't bother to polish out the fiberglass, so there's a shadow in the fiberglass. And what they've done is they've taken a new name and plastered it over the old name. You know, it's lopsided. In this business, when you're working in the private sector, as soon as law enforcement becomes aware of a recovery or a possible stolen boat, they have a tendency to jump on that. And what they can do is they can jump on that and get the case out from under you. And I'm trying to control it where if I do find the boat, I can get paid for the recovery of the boat.
With a possible recovery fee of $75,000, Dave's eager to keep it to himself.
We're not withholding anything from law enforcement, we're just controlling the flow of the information.
Water cops Lily and Caesar have already issued this boater with a speeding ticket and a mandatory court appearance.
No, you don't have that.
Here you go, Caesar.
Their final check is on his safety equipment.
Can you pull it out for me? Okay, this fire extinguisher, I don't know if you could see there, it says empty.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Now that right there is a $50 fine, okay? So it doesn't affect his driver's license in any way, but it does affect the person. So if they do run a check on your name, it'll come up that, you know, you have a boating infraction.
If you want to, Florida Marine Patrol, I had some, but
Caesar hands over a ticket and some advice. Take a safety course before you go to court.
A home test, and just mail it in. They'll send you a card when you've taken the test. When you go to court, just tell Shay, hey, I did the home test.
So I can do that instead of before I go to court?
Yeah.
Or you can do the class.
Thank you so much again. We apologize for it, okay?
I know. Basically, that boat, it was jet driven. It has no propeller blades in the water. By the Florida law, they're classified as a boat. They have to obey the same rules as a boat. And from a lot of the jet skiers, they speed all over the place through the manatee zone. So when you stop them, they say, hey, my boat can't hurt a manatee. I don't have any propeller blades in the water to cut them up. I'll just slip right over. So how I usually get them is I tell them, okay, you get in the water, play like you're a manatee. I'll get on your jet ski and I'll run you over going 70 miles an hour and let's see how it feels. So after you explain it like that, then they get the message.
At the end of the day, water cops Lily and Caesar head back to base. While the special ops trainees are ready to unwind after a tough day in the water.